So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, the LIMBsimple family. Thank you, Mr. Ezekiel, for the privilege to be here and to share with all of us. So as I share, uh, I learn as well. So thank you, everyone. So we'll be discussing on how to close bigger deals, how to close bigger real estate deals in 2025. Um, in real estate industry, sales is the major factor. In fact, in every business, by the way, sales remain the major factor because sales is like the life wire of every business. It is the what blood is to a human is what sales is to business. So every business that must scale and thrive must be business that masters the art of selling. So closing bigger deals or bigger real estate deals in 2025 will require a combination of strategic planning, uh, leveraging technology, and then understanding the market trends. Extra large, we welcome you, man. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. We
God bless you.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, sir.
So here are some actionable steps we can take to be able to uh, scale our business in 2025. Number one is the negotiation strategies for closing bigger deals. Because everything boils down for you to make sales, you have to learn how to negotiate. Everyone that has to deal with you will have to you have to negotiate with you. We have to negotiate. If you have to learn how to negotiate, so negotiation is a crucial skill in sales, especially when it has to do with high value uh, transactions in real estate. Effective negotiation involves strategic persuasion, psychology, and positioning to achieve the best outcome while ensuring the buyer feels satisfied. Sales generally is about psychology. So it's about being able to understand the psychology of humans, how people reason, how people think, and how people behave. So positioning to achieve the best outcome while ensuring that the client is satisfied is what negotiation is all about. So there are three things we'll look at, the three techniques that we'll look at. Number one is anchoring. Anchoring. So I'm sorry, I'm supposed to do a slide, but I've been very strong. So I sent it to my media manager, and unfortunately they went out for a function this early morning, so she couldn't do it. So number one, that is under that negotiation, number one is anchoring, setting the reference point. And what that means is anchoring is the practice of setting an initial price or expectation that influences how the other party perceives the value that you are offering. So for instance, if the price of the product that I'm offering is valued at 10 million, I'll have to make it look like it's valued at 15, 13, or 12. So that by the time we are talking about the 10 million, the client would see it as a serious value. That if he's going to come in at this point, is having a serious value for his money. So set a high initial price. So when you look at our flyers, what we do is we set this is the actual price and this is the promo price, so that when you're looking at it, you know that after this promotion, this is the actual price. So you are having value for your money. So if the actual price is 15 million, for instance, then that is for land, then and you are doing a promo at 10 million, the person knows that after this promo, he's already having 50% or thereabout increase on his money. And that is what anchoring represents. So if selling land, present a premium price first before offering discounts or flexible payment plans. So you have to present the premium price first before offering either the installment payment plan or discount payment plan. So this makes any reduction seem like a great value, a great deal for that customer. So show higher price alternative first, like I explained before, making your offer seem more affordable in comparison with what you have presented or with what the person has seen. So it now makes your offering more affordable. Whoever sets the first price in a negotiation usually has the upper hand. So you have to position your price favorably to influence the buyer's perception. So you are not creating the perception that, oh, if I buy at this price, that means I am having a value. So you do not, every one of us use it. I know that Extra Large has used that method as well. You know, she would say the value of this property is 50 million or 60 million. But if you can pay at this time, between this time and this time, you can get it for 40 million. You know, something like that. That's what anchoring means. So a client is considering a 10 million land purchase. So you present a similar property at 12 million first, then making that 10 million seem like a bargain. So it's going to come after it because it feels that is having a bargain already. So you can also frame it by saying some buyers have purchased this same land for 12 million, but because you are an early investor, you can get it for 10 million now. So the person sees that is getting value for his money. So number two under negotiation is mirroring. Mirroring is a way to build rapport and trust. So mirroring is a technique of subtly copying the other person's body language, tone, or speech in order to establish rapport and trust. So people naturally trust and feel comfortable with those who seem like them, okay, who do like them. So what it means is you match if the person is a fast talker, okay, if the person is a fast talker and is excited in his or her talk, you have to match him or her in that same energy. So you do not slow down. You have to match him or her in that same fast and excited talk, okay? If the person is a slow talker, just like I am, and then you come and you're talking fast, you have to slow down and mirror my tune, okay? Mirror my tune, my body language. So if I lean, you softly lean as well. If I'm nodding my head, you softly nod your own. It is called mirroring. What it means is you reflect the customer's, you know, you're able to adjust and reflect according to the customer's tune, right? So when a client says, I am worried about the location, what mirroring does is, what mirroring does is you repeat what the customer has said. I understand you are concerned about the location. What specifically worries you concerning the location? So that makes the person know that you are active listener. you actually understand what he's saying. So you first repeat what the person has said before asking the person question. Remember, in sales, you are not the one talking. You shouldn't be the one doing the talking. It is the client that should be doing the talking. So your job is to always steer the person up to talk, because it is by him or her talking that you get to understand his or her psychology, his way of needs, thought pattern, behavior, and stuff like that. Nobody, you can't understand humans if you do not allow them to talk. So when they talk, you're able to read into their minds. So the job is usually to just allow them to talk. So ask them questions and allow them to do the talking. If a client leans, you do the same. If they nod, you subtly do the same. So this is what builds a conscious trust, a conscious connection, right? So if a client says, I'm not sure if I can afford this, instead of pushing back, you mirror. I completely understand. Many of my clients feel the same way at first. Let's explore payment options that might work for you. Okay. The person says he can't afford it. You have to understand with that person. I completely understand. But let us now explore options that can help you to afford it. All right. So number 3 is win-win solutions. Win-win solutions is creating mutual value. A win-win negotiation ensures both parties feel they have gained value. Remember, it's not about you, it's about the client, it's about the customers. So the customer has to have the feel that he has gained a value, okay, in your offering. Same way you will feel, but you're not going to express your feeling, all right? So this is going to reduce the resistance and make closing easier. Instead of a one-sided victory, aim for a mutually beneficial outcome. So you have to make the client know that he is getting much more value than even you offering the value. So offer flexible payment plans. Instead of forcing a one-time payment, introduce installment payments that make the purchase easier for the buyer while ensuring you close the deal. This is what we do, okay? We have 3 months. In fact, we have 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and 1 year, 6 months payment plan. However, in order to ensure, because cash flow is the game, is the rule of the game. In order to ensure that cash flow, because human beings are what they are. If you craft the installment payment plan and the person sees that, oh, instead of releasing this money at once, I could actually be paying gradually while I use the money to do business. So you are going to, it's going to affect your payment plan. So what we do is we said, well, 2 months, if you're going to pay within 2 months, it's going to be free of charge. It's going to be free interest. But if you're paying if you're paying in 3 months, you're going to pay 20% interest. If you're paying in 6 months, you pay 30% interest. If you're paying in 12 months, you're going to pay 40%. And if you're paying 1 year, 6 months, you're going to pay 50% interest. The reason is those period of time, the land will be appreciated, or the property will be appreciated. And to tie it up while you are paying small gradually is not to the value of the company, because the company needs money to run the business. Okay, so then the person will realize that if he makes that payment outright, he's going to gain, instead of paying maybe 50, 40, 30, or 20% interest on that money. So what we use this thing to do is that we get more people that pay us outright than the installment payment plan. source to do. However, depending on your customer database or the environment in which you operate, you can actually use installment payment plan to be able to drive sales, because people will like, to be paying gradually while they use their money to do business, and they are paying you out of the profit that they have made. So that's a win-win situation. So if a buyer is hesitant, offer incentives, or offer some other incentives like legal documentation assistance, free land surveys, or discounted service charges. You can offer different incentives to make the person, to if after offering the installment payment plan and the person is still hesitant, then you can offer some other incentives. In fact, in our system, we are constantly offering incentives. There is no time somebody buys land in our system that it does not have something to get, okay? Some materials to get. Sometimes it's foodstuff or things like that. And for those who pay installment, they don't have anything to get. This is another way to drive outright payment. So anytime people know that anytime they are doing installment plan, they are not going to get anything from us. But anytime somebody makes an outright payment, there is something to get, and something huge to get, by the way. Of course, you should know that all of those things are already factored into your pricing. So find common ground, understand the buyer's needs, and propose solutions that align with their goals while protecting your interest. Business is about interest. Everybody is fighting to protect his or her interest, whereas the customer is trying to protect his or her interest. You're also trying to protect your interest. But what you've got to do is you have to find a common ground that will make the customer feel that he's winning over you. All right. So understand the buyer's needs and propose solutions that align with their goals. All right. While you are protecting your interests. So a client wants a 10 million naira property, but can only afford 8.5 million naira upfront. Instead of rejecting the offer, structure a deal where they pay that same 8.5 million now and spread the remaining 1.5 over 6 months or 3 months, or as the case may be. In this case, when the person is able to pay this huge, upfront, the remaining one, you can actually spread it without even collecting interest, because you know that you have gotten the bulk of the purchase value. Okay, so you might say, I want to make this work for you. How about we lock in the deal with 8.5 million naira now, and you clear the balance in structured payments. That way, you won't miss this opportunity. Okay, so that person is going to see that you're offering him or her value. So the power of combining these three techniques will help you to start with to close more deals. So you start with the anchoring to establish a high value perception, because perception is reality. What the customers perceive is what he believes to be the real thing. So you start with that anchoring, then you use mirroring to build trust and make the client feel understood. Then you close with a win-win solution that meets both parties' needs. I want us to look at some other sales frameworks that work, that we use. Okay, I call this the AIDA, AIDA. So AIDA is an acronym for attention, interest, desire, action. Attention, interest, desire, action. Okay, so AIDA is a classic sales framework that maps the psychological journey of a buyer. Remember, It's psychology. Selling is psychology. It helps structure conversations, sales pitches, and marketing messages. So how does it work? Number one is attention. This captures the prospect's attention with a strong hook. So when you're making a sales speech or presentation or whatever it is, that initial sales hook is what is called attention. For example, did you know that land in Anambra, we live in Anambra, we do business in Anambra, by the way. So did you know that land in Anambra has appreciated over 200% in the last 1 year or 2 years? So you have aroused interest. The person wants to know. The person wants to ask questions. The person wants to know how. You could say 200% or 500%, as the case may be, in the last 1 year, in the last 2 years, and the person, it arouses interest, and the person wants to know how, right? And then the interest is now aroused. Okay, you build interest by highlighting a problem or unique value. For example, with rapid development happening right now in Anambra, this is the best time to secure a plot before prices double again. You have shown the person that price has doubled in the last 1 year. That has aroused interest. So now you build that interest, you build on that interest by saying, with rapid development happening right now in this location, this is the best time to secure a plot or to secure a home before prices double again, because you have made a person know that it doubled before, so there's possibility of doubling again. And number 3 is desire. So now you create emotional desire by showing benefits and urgency. You create emotional desire by showing benefits and urgency. Example, many investors who bought last year are already seeing massive returns. You can be the next. So you let the person or the people know that those who bought before are already seeing massive returns on their investment. And you provide that matrix for them to see. And then you let them know that they could be the next. And number 4 is action. Guide them to take action immediately. Example, let's reserve a plot for you right now. Let's reserve a home for you. Let's reserve a house for you right now. How would you like to proceed? Outright payment or installment payment? So you have put the person has to now give you an answer, because 1, you have stirred up the person's interest. Okay, you have created values for them. You have made the person see value. You have made the person see how much he can grow his money and all of that. Most of the times, when I meet clients, I do not introduce myself as one who sells land or sells property. I introduce myself as one who helps people to grow their wealth, to grow their money. Because the truth is, we are in the business of helping people to grow their money. You are not selling property. You are helping them grow their money. Somebody who bought a property and the property has appreciated by 500%. What have you done? You have grown the person's money. You have grown the person's capital. So I am one who is helping a lot of people grow their money. I am not selling real estate. I'm not selling land. I'm not selling property. I'm helping you grow your money. So you can use either in sales speeches, in your social media ads, or in your landing pages and brochures. So you can use that. The second acronym is called SPIN. SPIN selling. SPIN. This focuses on customers' needs. So SPIN means situation, problem, implication, need. SPIN means situation, problem, implication, and need. So situation questions understand the buyer's current situation. So it is called the SPIN framework. Understand the buyer's current situation. Example, are you currently renting, or do you want to own your own property? Or are you currently renting, or do you own your own property? So it starts with questions, situation questions. Then P is problem questions. Identify problems they might not realize. Examples, does renting feel like you are throwing money away instead of building equity? So what you're trying to do is, a lot of people do stuff that they don't take thoughts to. Okay, they don't even know the implications. So you are trying to drive the mind of the person to the implication of what he's doing. First is the situation. Are you currently renting, or do you own your own property? Number two is the problem question. Does renting feel like you're throwing away money instead of building or owning your own property? Number three is implication question. You have to now highlight the consequences of the person's inaction. If the person does not take action, there is a consequence. So if land prices keep rising, how much more will you have to pay in a year from now? Because land pricing is not waiting for anybody. It will keep on increasing. And if it continues to rise as it is doing currently, how much more are you willing to pay? How much more will you pay in the next 1 year if you do not take action right now? So you're putting the person in a haste to take action immediately, seeing the implication of his inaction. If he does not take that action right now, what he needs to pay for it in the nearest future. And then number four is the need payoff questions. So get them to verbalize the benefits of buying. How would it feel to own land now and watch its value grow? So what we say to our people is that we increase the neighborhood. We increase the value of our neighborhood. Anywhere we enter, our mindset is to increase the value of that neighborhood. So you are letting the customer know that if he buys now, his money is going to increase in value in shortest possible period. So you ask the question like, how would it feel to own land now and watch its value grow? Because it does grow always. It does grow always. So number three, I have talked about number one, and then the number one is the IDA, the number two is the spin, and number three is the challenger sales. The challenger sales, teaching, tailoring, and taking control. The challenger sales model focuses on educating the buyer, challenging the assumptions, and leading the conversation with authority. So how it works is, number one, teach, offer new insights that challenge their thinking. You know, we started what we call 365 days real estate challenge. And what we do is every single day we release a nugget, we release a principle. And I can tell you that if you focus on educative marketing without even selling, imagine that you just do, well, maybe you have some other ways of marketing, of making sales, but on social media, you now decide to do 1 year educative marketing without talking about sales. It will come to a point where people begin to see you as an authority, that even when they want to make a buying decision somewhere else, they'll come to you to seek for counsel. At that point, you know that you are now being perceived as an authority in that industry. Sales will become very easy. Every time we come to the face of people and we position ourselves as one who wants to sell to them, they create resistance. They create objections. They object to it. They build resistance around our offering. But if they see you as one who is genuinely interested in their well-being, that you educate them and you inform them, and you are not even willing to sell to them, they are going to trust you much more. I'm telling you, they're going to trust you. So what this challenger sales model does is to educate, offer new insights that challenge their thinking. Many people think waiting for land prices to drop is smart, but history shows prices in this location have consistently risen. So you offer educative marketing. There is nothing as forceful and powerful as educative marketing. It always wins, especially when there is no strings attached. Of course, you are not doing it free. There's a string attached, but you are not making it obvious. You just want to win the trust of the people. So you can engage on webinar, free training. You can engage on whatever method, social media, whatever method, consistently offering real estate tips. And you are not asking people to buy. You are not presenting what you're selling. Over time, at whatever stage you now decide to begin to showcase what you're selling, you have built trust and they're going to come for it, because you have made them know what they didn't know before, and you have made them to avoid mistakes that could have cost them money, and you have made them understand how to go about property purchases. Okay. So in this challenger sales model, we have key elements. Number one is teach, offer new insights that challenge their thinking. Number two is tailor, customize the conversation to their specific needs. For example, for a young professional like you, securing land near the new commercial hub could be a game changer. So you customize your message to the person's specific needs or to the customer's specific needs. Maybe your target is the professionals, and then you tell them that for young professionals like you, securing land near this new commercial hub could be a life changer, a game changer for you. Okay, so you are tailoring your message right now. And number three is take control. The third key element is take control. Lead the discussion with confidence and push for action. For example, you can say, I recommend you move forward now. Waiting could mean paying a double in a few months' time. All right. So I want us to look at a few more things. We can then we maybe ask questions. Of course, in marketing, if you want to close more deals, there are two ways to go about it. Either, in fact, and these two ways must be carried along at the same time. Okay, one is corporate marketing, and two is retail marketing. Retail sales or corporate sales. So in corporate sales, you are targeting organizations, you're targeting maybe schools, clubs, market unions, churches, and stuff like that. So for you to do that, you need to, what I did was to write a generic proposal. Generic proposal, because anybody can use it. So I wrote it, and anybody can just come, then put the name of the organization, and then I attach acceptance form to that proposal, so that when you submit that proposal, you have to come back with the acceptance form. The acceptance form, the person feels maybe that they have accepted for you to come and speak to them, the date, the time, the location, and all of that. So now you prepare and go speak to the organization, maybe police. We've done this to police, we've done this to schools, we've done this to, market unions and all of that. So you are targeting corporate sales. So when you go to such organizations and then you make your sales speech, make your offerings to them, what is going to help you do is that people are going to, if they are in unions, sometimes the club or the union may want to buy for the club or the union, or individuals may just like coming. And for you to be effective in this, you need to capture the anchor person. If the anchor person is the president, or in fact the executives, you need to do PR. In real estate, PR is the main thing. You can't go far if you don't know how to do PR. So just get those anchor persons and do PR to them, so that on the day of your presentation, they are the ones even talking for you. There's a place we went to, I think it was in December, because we did our anniversary on the 1st of December, and it was a wow anniversary. And some of the key persons came for that anniversary. So when we now went for presentation to these market people, this market union, it was when they were closing the year, the annual closing of the union. So they cooked and did all kinds of stuff. So we now went. In fact, the anchor person that attended our anniversary became the spokesperson. We didn't even have to say much. He was the one he gave a lot of instances of properties that he himself had bought in the past, not with us, which had appreciated to the point that he said he would never be poor again in his life. And then making reference to us as established real estate company in this neighborhood, that he would refer anybody, he would prefer that they come to us. So by the time he was done, we didn't have much to say anymore. So capturing the anchor person when you're doing corporate marketing is very, very key. Look for such person, do PR, and go speak. Sometimes you could sponsor that meeting. You could sponsor their meeting, you could provide the things that they will eat and drink and stuff like that. We've done this in several markets, okay? And then second one is the retail sales and marketing, which is the one I'll be speaking about now. It's about retailing. And you have to train your people on how to be effective in retail marketing. Okay. Once you are able to, you concentrate on training them, I'm telling you that sales will continue to come every single day. So let me run through this and then we'll take questions. The data-driven selling, using metrics to optimize sales performance. Data-driven selling is a strategic approach that uses metrics and analytics to improve sales and performance, or sales performance. So instead of relying on intuition, top performing sales professionals and teams track key indicators to refine their strategies, close more deals, and maximize efficiency. So by analyzing data on conversation rates, follow-ups, and sales cycles, you can identify what is working, eliminate inefficiencies, and scale successful strategies. So number one is conversion rates. Conversion rates, measuring sales effectiveness. Conversion rate is the percentage of leads that turn into actual buyers. So it helps measure how effective your sales funnel is working. So leads to customer conversion rate, how many leads become paying customers? You are scattering your seeds. How many of these is bringing buyers? So ad conversion rate, how well do your ads generate qualified leads? Of course, our coach, Dr. Ezekiel, had told us over and over that you have to have marketing budget. Depending on the size of your company, it could be 5%, it could be 10%, it could be 2%. Okay, for instance, if you're doing 10 billion revenue in a year, or you're targeting 10 billion, you know that 2% of 10 billion is huge. So you pump it into marketing. 5% also is something, because you have to be in the front of the people always. You have to be in the front of the people always. That's what builds trust. People want those that they can trust. And if you are not there, if you are not showing up every day, they may not trust you. They will trust those that show up every day. So marketing is a way to show up every day. And in your market, you have to ensure that you are tracking your conversion rate, your leads. How many of these leads that you're generating convert? So analyze weak points in your funnel. If many leads express interest but they don't buy, you have to review your follow-up process. You have to review your strategy. So if landing page visitors don't convert, you have to adjust your messaging or your offering or your benefit. So you have to track these things. So you have to also test different approaches. You have to test different sales scripts, email subject lines, or ad creatives. So if one WhatsApp follow-up gets a 5% response rate and another gets 15%, you have to use the better performing one. So number two is you have to use lead scoring. Lead scoring. Prioritize high intent leads who engage with your content multiple times. So if you generate 100 leads from a Facebook ad and close 10 sales, your conversion rate is 10%. To improve on that, you may test different ads creatives, optimize landing pages, or enhance your follow-up strategies to ensure that you increase that conversion rate. Then follow-ups, tracking customer engagement. Follow-ups refer to the process of staying in touch with prospects to move them closer to making purchases. So many deals are lost due to poor follow-up. You know, if there's anything we should learn from LIMBsimple, it is follow-up. They'll call you and call you. You know, when I learned how consistent and how many calls that they engage in every single day, I have brought this to our system, even though it's still very difficult for us. But man, that is the killer, right? Follow-up is the rule of the game. In fact, sales follows follow-up. Money follows follow-up. If you don't follow up, you lose the money. All right. So many deals are lost due to poor follow-up. And the key follow-up metrics: response rate, how many prospects reply to follow-up messages; time to response, how quickly do prospects respond to sales outreaches; number of follow-ups needed to close a sale, how many touches are required before closing. You need to optimize, you need to track these metrics. How to optimize these follow-ups? Number one is to automate follow-ups. Automate follow-ups. I have found that WhatsApp has automation tools like Wati that helps you to send follow-up messages at intervals. I'm beginning to work on that. We've not started this, but I just learned it, okay, and then I'm working on it with my team, so that every transaction, you know, AI is artificial intelligence. What it means is you put into a system what you could have done humanly, and then allow the system to to deliver it. You automate it, it runs on its own. That's what I understand to mean artificial intelligence. So the intelligence that you use in running your day-to-day activities, you put it into a system or a machine and automate it. So now, when somebody is interacting with me on WhatsApp, there is flow of response in sequence in a way that the customer would think that is interacting with me, even with voice notes, but it doesn't know that it's not interacting with me, that is interacting with a machine. And why? Because I've factored in all the questions in sequence that the customer would likely ask me when he comes chatting with me. And then I provide the questions, the answers. So each one he asks or he or she asks, there's a ready-made answers, response. So it flows in that sequence, even to the point of closing a deal, all right? Even to the point of, closing that deal. So once we're able to automate this, it's going to help us. So if a prospect doesn't respond on WhatsApp, then we can try email or a phone call, right? Number three is track response timing. If most responses come within 30 minutes of the first message, then you have to prioritize real-time engagement, to flow in that line. Then number four is personalize that follow-ups. Instead of generic messages, tailor them to the buyer's specific concerns. We are still good. I know that there are softwares everywhere. In fact, emails, when you receive email, it says, hello, Mr. Simeon, you just know that this thing, the person is not writing to you, but there's a software that's customized and made that message not to be generic. It comes to you directly, mentioning your name, okay? So if you spend 100 follow-ups and get responses from 30 people, your response rate is 30%. So if it takes 5 follow-ups on average to close a deal, optimize your message sequence to convert faster. All right. I think I'll stop here. Number 3, I'll stop at this sales cycle, understanding the buying journey. The sales cycle is the time it takes for a prospect to move from initial contact to a closed deal. So a shorter sales cycle means faster revenue growth. So average sales cycle length, how long does it take to close a deal? The time spent in each stage. Where do most prospects drop off? At what point in the journey do you lose the prospect? How many deals are successfully closed? So now, how you can optimize the sales cycle is, number 1, identify the bottlenecks. If most prospects get stuck in consideration stage, then adjust your closing strategy. Number 2, use data to predict buyer intent. If a prospect has engaged multiple times, that is clicking on your links, ask questions, then you need to focus more effort on those ones, because you know that they have interest. And number 3 is segment prospects by readiness to buy. Fast track highly interested buyers instead of wasting time on cold leads. So those ones that have clicked multiple times, those ones that have asked questions multiple times, you just need to focus on them much more, because you know that they have interest and there's likelihood of converting them. So I think this is where I will stop for today. So if you have questions, we get to hear your questions right now. I hope you have found value for your time this afternoon. Hope I've not wasted your time.
Woo! Amazing.
Very amazing, sir. I've learned a lot, and it's
That
just I
was
had to even start reflecting myself on some of the when you were talking about follow up, and I just realized that there was like angles where I wasn't like covering up myself that I could have been doing way better in follow up.
Mm. Thank you so much. That area we all really need to need to own up. Follow up is the rule of the game. I'm telling you, there are many people we lose along the line because we are not effective in our follow up. So at a particular point, we just lose. Have you ever, followed up
Thank you
a
so much,
client?
sir. So much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. When you follow up a client and after a while, you hear that that client has bought from your competitor, what changed? It could just mean
Ah,
that it could
yes,
just
yes,
mean that
that has definitely happened to me. That has happened to me. And the funny part was he came back to me like months later to come and ask for updates concerning what was happening in the area. So I was not
because
like, so yeah, that has definitely happened to me.
so it boils down to poor follow up because sometimes some clients don't make a buying decision until you have followed them up for a long period of time. In fact, some people will buy just so that they ease up from your follow up. They just see that follow in order to just allow this guy should just allow me rest. Let me just buy. I heard from somebody who say he follow up a client for 11 months before the person bought. 11 months. So you can imagine that every
Yes.
single week is crafting messages, and sometimes, and in some of the messages, because don't be desperate. That's one thing. In fact, I have a topic on that area separately. Desperation, frustration. Once a client sees that you're desperate, you're going to lose that client. So you don't show desperation by every contact you're talking about selling, selling, selling. That's why I said most of the time we even use educative market. You just educate every now and then. You send message to that person, educating the person what is happening around the environment, and you are not even talking about selling. Sometimes to check up on the person and all of that. You just make sure that you are in the face of the person consistently, so that whenever he wants to think of making a decision, a buying decision, he thinks of you, because he must not see you to be desperate. All right. Desperation kills the whole selling process. And desperation sometimes shows in our actions, in our words, in our attitude, and all of that. We must guard against desperation and frustration.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate your point. And just to even chip into that following up part. So I had this woman who this was like last year. Was it last year now? So I followed her up for like, I can't remember, but this was months. It was like, I'm talking over 6 months. And like you said, it wasn't like a consistent follow up to buy, right? Because
Mhm.
based on our conversation, she was someone that wanted to buy, but she had a lot on her plate. So I followed up consistently over 6 months, and over 6 months plus, we're in between calls, messages from time to time, and so on and so forth. In fact, at one point, we had a physical meeting. So it got to a point where she was just like, you know what? So after the physical meeting, we initially agreed that she was going to like sign in with a part payment for one of the property. And then she like calls me back and be like, Justin, I can't really do this now. Honestly, I've checked myself and I can't really do this now because according to what she told me, then she had like some building projects that she was like already committed into and was like paying, and she was yet to complete the payment. She still had a few months of payment. So she was like, you know what? I really appreciate the fact that you have been on this for months. In fact, you have been like this thing that just send me your account number. Let me just send you a little something for lunch. And I was like, no, don't worry, ma, don't worry, ma. She said, no, I'm not going to leave it like this. That, and I was just like, don't worry, we can revisit this in a couple of months. And she just kept on, you know what? I'm not saying I'm paying you off or anything. I'm just saying that, look, let me just buy you lunch because you have been like consistent over time. And I kind of picked that point, when you talked about the fact that you just need to follow up people. Because like you said, you might talk to someone now that is likely to buy, but it's just not the right position. They might have a lot of things going. And then that same person, you revisit them 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, and there's an opportunity that just opens up and they are able to key into that opportunity, which I think
Exactly.
follow up to a very large extent is mostly educating the prospects, right? Because if you just keep showing up and educating them that, okay, this is what is happening, this is what is happening, if there's news information in your industry around that area where they're interested in, you send them that details from time to time. What will happen is at one point, when they're eventually ready, they will just like be like, okay, let's do it. Because for instance, now that woman, I know I'm still going to close the deal with her because me, I'm still not giving her space. I just left her for a few months, but I'll still like continue and all that. So yeah, I really, really appreciate that fact where you talked about follow-up.
Thank you so much. That's just it. I hope you did not collect the lunch money.
She sent it to. She sent it to. She did not allow me to rest. She said she must send the lunch money. And she had to like call and say, no, I must buy you lunch and all that. But that was like,
Anyway, that has established a rapport, and that's key. Rapport is key in closing in any business. Once you have established that rapport, you have won the person over. So at any time he is in the mood for a buying decision, he will always consider you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I think we'll call it a day. LIMBsimple.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can everybody hear me? Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for your wonderful session. And I believe everybody learned so well, like I do. I did also. I took notes. Thank you so much for your time. Everybody at LIMBsimple appreciate your time and your effort today. We really appreciate you. Despite the short timing, we are glad that you came on board. And I want to believe that everybody also enjoyed the session. So in about a few minutes now, Bisola will come and take just about 3 minutes of your time and speak about Strategy Factory. Has anybody attended Strategy Factory before here? Mr. Justin, Mr. Thompson.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so Bisola is going to speak within the next 3 minutes. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Maestro. Okay.
Thank you everybody for joining. So like she mentioned, this community event that you just enjoyed now is just a part of what we have decided to pull together for everybody in our community. But more than that, we also believe that as business owners, everything about mindset shift and the likes that people experience always starts from being a part of the Strategy Factory. So we currently have a very amazing discount ongoing for anybody here who has been a part of the community by attending the convention and not the Strategy Factory, so that you'll be able to sort of have a knowledge of what's happening in that space and be able to do something for your business through the Strategy Factory. If you would be interested in attending the Strategy Factory for this month, you can send a message to this number in the chat box and we will contact you to provide you with more details about the class so that you can join and also access a certain discount that would be unique to you. Every other person that would be coming to the Strategy Factory from other sources would get 10%. But if you send a message to this number, we'll be able to do something for you as a member of the alumni community. Thank you so much for joining, and we look forward to having us at the Strategy Factory and also at the next meeting for the real estate for our alumni community. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
sir. Thank you,
appreciate
Thank you,
Dr.
it.
Dr.
Simeon.
Simeon. Dr. Simeon, you
Thank
were
you.
simply amazing. God bless you. Bisola and
Thank you, ma'am.
Funke, God bless you all. Well done.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank
everybody.
you, everybody.
Thank you.